Hey guys, this is Ray the Messenger, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you about how to improve your mental health. Now let's get right into the video. I'm going to give you 3 tips that I personally think are extremely helpful in order to improve your own mental health and also that help me personally improve my own life. Now let's talk about it. So the first thing that I would advise anybody who wants to improve their own mental health is you need to start observing yourself. You need to identify throughout the whole day, maybe even week or month, what are the things that are causing you to have issues with your own mental health, or what is extremely hard on your own mental health, what is something that drags you down, something that has a massively negative impact on you. There are oftentimes a couple of factors that influence the mental health, because for most people it's not a chronic condition. Most people don't have some kind of severity throughout their medical life or some stuff like that. Most of the people out there, they have just some personal problems or some issues that are causing the mental health problems. So you need to find out what is it. Maybe it is because you're not watching your own health, right? You're sitting there and you're eating junk food every single day. This will have a negative impact. I personally, back in the day, I was somebody who was always drinking Coke. I was just sitting there every single day. I was eating Coke. I was drinking Coke. I was eating Big Macs, right? I was eating unhealthy food, and that had a massive negative impact because, in my personal opinion, the mind and the body, those two things are connected. If you're someone who has an extremely unhealthy body, that will automatically have a negative impact on your mind. Now, are there people out there who are overweight and still have some kind of discipline in order in other areas of life? Yes, those people exist, but it's not because they're overweight, it's in spite of them being overweight. So why would you put your own mental health at risk by going out there and living your whole life and your whole body at bay? You're living there, you're sitting down and you're eating unhealthy food. How does it even make sense? Why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. So sit down and write down, maybe it's the unhealthy food you're putting into your system. And oftentimes what I see with people who have mental health issues, and even from my own self back in the day, is that those people, they actually never work out. Those people are never going out there and doing something kind of activities that are putting their own body into motion. Because when you're out there and training, maybe it's like you're going to the gym, you're training with somebody else, these things will massively have a positive impact. This is the thing that I did back in the day. I started doing push-ups, I started doing calisthenics, and that helped me massively with my own personal mental health. Because when you're out there working, sweating, you lose track of your own thoughts, right? You get into the motions, you get into the moment, and throughout that moment, you lose your own negative thoughts, and they're just gone for a minute, and you can focus on really the task at hand. In case just pushing weight, for example, if you're in the gym, it's a really good way in order to calm your mind down and also get a little bit distracted throughout the day, but in a positive way, right? Not in a negative way, but in a really positive way where you can get into it, and also at the same time it improves your own health. And this is a big thing also impacting mental health. And now listen, think about this. If you're somebody who's sitting there and you're 300 pounds, right? You're overweight, you're massively overweight, you're sitting there and you will also feel bad about your own stuff. If you look into the mirror and you see somebody who's massively overweight, you're not going to be like, oh my god, I have such great confidence, look at that person, he's massively healthy. No, you're going to look in the mirror and be like, oh my god, you're so fat, you need to lose weight. And this is also having a negative impact. It's the negative talk. And when the negative talk starts impacting your whole life, your own mental health will go down the drain, because it's the way you talk to your own self that in the end of the day will determine how your whole life will go and how you also feel about yourself. So in order to improve the way you feel about yourself and the way you talk to your own self, this is the first step that I would advise anybody. Start eating healthier and also start implementing a workout routine. If you can't have the discipline or the motivation to go out there and do a training yourself, find some kind of body where you're like, okay, listen, me and you, we're going to go out there and we're going to train. No matter what happens, we two are going to go out there and go to the gym every single day. And okay, maybe in the beginning you don't do every single day. We're going to be like every second day, right? So first day you're not training, then the second day you're training, and then you take 2 days off in the beginning, and you both need to go and do it. And you need to create accountability. If somebody is not showing up, then you need to call that person and you need to hold them accountable and say, hey, where are you? I'm at the gym right now, you need to be here. And if the person is not willing to do that, then you need to find a new accountability partner, because in the end of the day, you need to find somebody who's also committed. If the other person is not committed and you don't have the discipline to muster up the courage and also the motivation to go in there and do it your own self, then you need to find somebody who can help you. This is what I would advise anybody. Go out there, find somebody that you can go and do the activity with. This is a massive factor to improve the mental health. Now, another thing that is also really important is look at what you're consuming. What are the things that you're actually watching every single day? What are the sources? Maybe you're watching the news, which I wouldn't recommend. Don't watch the news. There's no reason for you to watch the news unless you're somebody who is directly impacted by it. So let's say you're some kind of trader or a person who's trading stocks and stuff like that. Yeah, then probably you need to know the news, or you're some kind of journalist. But in all likelihood, Hollywood, you're somebody who the news is not relevant for. You don't care. It doesn't matter what happens in another place thousands of kilometers away. It's none of your business. It has no impact on you. Yeah, maybe it's a bad thing. Listen, I understand, but it doesn't have anything to do with you. So focusing on the negativity is also going to have a negative impact on your mental health, because when you're listening the whole day and you're seeing like negative images, oh, there's a war right here, people getting killed over there, explosions, everything is going to shit, because that's what the news is telling you every single day. Because most of the time people will have a stronger response to negative messages than to positive messages. This is how news outlets, for example, make money. That's why when you open up a news magazine, you only see most of the time negative stuff, unless it's some kind of specific magazine tailored to specific people that are maybe in business, for example. Then it's different. The Forbes magazine, for example, it's different. Most of the time this stuff is not good for you, consuming negative stuff, consuming negative news. So you should be focusing on what are positive things that I can consume. And I'm also even talking about stupid stuff. If you're consuming too much of dumb stuff or negative stuff that have negative word views in it, then that will actually negatively impact your own life and your own mental health. So watch what you're consuming. Start to consciously consume. If you're watching videos, for example, and don't watch too many videos, and by the way, but if you're watching videos, be mindful of what are you watching and why you're watching it. This is extremely important. Don't just be a blind consumer. This goes for anything in life, with food as well as a different kind of material that you're consuming. I would recommend specific videos that help you motivate yourself or learn some specific skill that you want to learn, or maybe even sometimes a little bit of entertainment is okay, but it needs to be the right entertainment that doesn't have any kind of agenda with it. This is really important. All kind of agendas. It doesn't matter what it is. So these two things are really going to help you. So what you're consuming and start eating healthy and working out. And the third thing, this is also an extremely important thing. Start actually looking who are the people inside of your own circle. Who are your friends? What are your friends regularly doing? And are those the right people that you want to associate with? Because the reality is, when your friends are all overweight, there's a massive likelihood that you're also overweight. So you will also be overweight. This is the reality of it. If your friends are negative Nancy's, talking behind other people's back, talking shit behind other people's back, then you're also going to be that way. So you need to distance yourself consciously from these people, because they will not have a positive impact on your whole life. Try to find new friends, or maybe just limit the whole exposure to the other old friends until you find some new friends, because in the end of the day you have to do these things for your own self, and you can still love your friends, your old friends. You just don't have to spend all the kind of time with them, because in the end of the day this is about improving your own mental health. And if you notice that somebody is negatively impacting your mental health, then that person has to go. Unfortunately, that's the reality of it, right? So these are like my 3 tips that you need to implement in order to massively improve your mental health. Listen, if I believe 100% wholeheartedly, if you implement these 3 things inside of your own life, there's almost a 0% chance that you will not see an improvement in your own mental health. So hope this video is helpful for you. Now go out there, implement these things, because without implementing these things, it will mean nothing. All the time you've watched this video will have no impact unless you actually put in the work and do these things. Hope this video is helpful for you. Put a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, put a comment on it, and I will see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.